So good evening, everyone. I am Mayor Lori Palmeri, and on behalf of the Oshkosh Common Council, City Manager Mark Rohloff, and city staff, welcome to the 2023 Oshkosh State of the City. Thank you for joining us in person once again to learn more about the exciting things that are going on in the city of Oshkosh. We are super excited to exemplify community engagement with all of us gathering here this evening, and we're pleased you're here for our program. And I have to say, too, this is my 7th State of the City, which will be the last one where I'm up in this role. Next year, I'll be out there with you. The State of the City is more than just an annual event to showcase our activities, projects, and future goals. It's an opportunity for everyone to celebrate our collective efforts at the local government level. We're also highlighting what's yet to come. We recognize that everyone plays an important role in this process as citizens, community leaders, city employees, government officials, elected officials, and volunteers. Our volunteers are the heart of Oshkosh. I'd like to introduce my fellow members of our Common Council. Please stand when I call your names. Here tonight, our Deputy Mayor, Matt Mugarauer, Council members Michael Ford, Courtney Hanson, Bill Miller, and Aaron Wojciechowski. Councilmember Lindsay Erickson could not be with us tonight, but in a moment we'll hear from our Common Council members as they introduce some outstanding groups that have furthered the city initiatives with significant efforts. The work of these groups will be highlighted in the Community Partnership Awards, and we thank our council members for their hard work and dedication for the past 12 months on behalf of the citizens of Oshkosh. And of course, we'd like to thank you, our friends and neighbors, for joining us tonight, and thanks to the Oshkosh Area School District and the Community for Education Group for helping populate the room tonight. Appreciate that. Together, we're a proud community. Without your participation and continued support, there would be no State of the City program. So it means a great deal to all of us that you chose to join us this evening, to be involved and take part in your community's exciting future. Again, this year, we have a special program element to include. We have our community's first poet laureate with a poem he composed for this State of the City program. You know, poetry carries us to the frontiers of our imaginations and helps us to articulate a shared vision of our future together. With his poem entitled My Oshkosh, here is Oshkosh Poet Laureate Tom Cannon.
Thank you. Good evening. Yes, I'm going to read my poem, My Oshkosh. The role of Poet Laureate has really provided me with a chance to reflect on how great Oshkosh has been to raise a family in, and that's what's so great about poetry. It's a chance to reflect. It's a chance to savor the good parts in your life. So as I raised a family here, and I wrote this poem as a way to record my personal history with Oshkosh. I wanted to record the sights and sound of what Oshkosh was. So it does have a lot of nostalgia for me. But as I wrote it and as I read it, I really noticed how Oshkosh has held on to what makes it special as it has changed. So my Oshkosh. My Oshkosh was the slow swivel of the rusted train bridge. My Oshkosh was the joke I was at the library, meaning the bar near campus. My bar was restaurants with previous businesses still etched in their walls. I watched Oshkosh atop the Bazar's gas truck. World War II planes screaming over people in lawn chairs, catching free air show at in the JCPenney's parking lot. My Oshkosh became standing on the shore of Menominee Park, with my daughter in my arms, my back to the fireworks, to shield her from the wind off the lake. My Oshkosh became home, became holiday pageants with the clatter of little feet on risers and tiled gyms, parent-teacher conferences on those tiny chairs. My Oshkosh is the smell of kettle corn, the two-person band at the farmer's market, bronze lions standing guard at the library, families reading the granite timeline, cresting the steel fountain in the square. You can find my Oshkosh at the South Park Pavilion. It's a half-barrel beer under a canvas. It's the friends rotating in and out of the volleyball game. It's the child wrapped in a towel after the splash pad. On Sunday morning, our Oshkosh is a mixture of downtown churchgoers and Roxy diners, walking where houses were once wedged against the train tracks on Division Street. So our Oshkosh runs from the fairgrounds to Parnell's, just past Artie and Ed's, from shore to hospital parking lots. Our Oshkosh sits on lawn chairs in the open garage at your grandma's house, the one opposite the Bayshore Mansion. Some of our history has crumbled away, like the bridge to the Silent Bay Lighthouse, Buckstaff, Leach Truck, Oshkosh by Gosh, Morgan Doors, Rockwell. But our Oshkosh did not disappear, it grew stronger. Yes, our Oshkosh continues to work. Our Oshkosh sings, dance, paints. Our Oshkosh flies on handcrafted wings. Our Oshkosh protects and defends. Our Oshkosh remembers and honors. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom, for sharing that personal connection to Oshkosh. Gave a great pictorial visual image. In just a moment, City Manager Mark Rohloff will deliver his 2023 State of the City address. Following his presentation, we'll take time to recognize some organizations in our Community Partner Awards for their work on projects that have had a significant and positive impact on the city. Then we'll honor several great citizen volunteers with our Citizen Service Awards for their ongoing efforts in serving on our various boards and commissions. We'll also be recognizing some others who've made contributions towards making Oshkosh a better place. And of course, as you look around the room, we also have our City Exhibit Expo. This is a great chance for you to meet city employees, talk to them about their projects, activities, and initiatives for our future together. On a final note, I want to stress again that for our city to work effectively, we need active citizen participation. Please consider serving on a board or commission, and don't hesitate to talk to city staff, council members, or current board and commission members about how to get involved. Thank you again, and please enjoy tonight's State of the City event. I'd now like to welcome City Manager Mark Rohloff for his State of the City address.
Thank you, Mayor Palmeri. Welcome, everybody. The last time we got together, 3 days later, we closed down for quite a bit, but the city of Oshkosh never closed. We continue to provide wonderful services, and I'm here to tell you that even though we've had a 3-year hiatus since we last met with each other in person, the state of the city is great, and it's because of you, it's because of our staff, our community leaders. So thank you for everything you do to make our community as great as it is. So okay, I'll go for it, yeah. As we were talking about a theme for tonight, it really became evident to us that we needed to talk about re-engaging our community, because we've seen a lot of events that have been slow to come back because people are just a little hesitant. It's sort of like going into the pool and you just ate 26 minutes ago. You want to hang on for a few more minutes. But it's time. It's time for us to get back in the pool. It's time for us to re-engage with our community. So what we want to do is tell our story about what we do at the City of Oshkosh, what plans and dreams we have for the coming year, And so we started by asking you, the community, through a citizen input survey about what you'd like to see for tonight. We used our Pulco Citizen Engagement Tool. If you don't use it currently, all you got to do is look up Pulco in the App Store and pick Pulco Oshkosh, not Pulco New York or anything like that. But you can then engage with surveys that we do, and this was one of them that we did. And the question came out in this theme was, how can we balance the cost of services as well as the quality of services with maintaining taxes and expenses and things like that. And that's certainly something that we have to be cognizant of and balance. And I know that that's something that the council regularly faces as a challenge. And I think the most recent example that I can give you and I can talk about is our stormwater progress. Our progress continues on stormwater while we set rates with fiscal responsibility in mind. And I know that it was a very tough decision for the council and a tough thing for the community to swallow when we had a 6.5% increase in our stormwater rates. But I want everybody to remember about 2008. I had just accepted but not assumed the position of city manager. And in 2008, we had some massive floods here that I think the community said, we need to fix this. The council recognized that, and I certainly arrived here knowing that we had to address issues from the 2008 flood. But fortunately, we've accomplished a lot, and I'm really proud of the progress that we've made in the 15 years since that flood. These are just a few examples of ponds that we put in. Those two were in Campbell Creek. Campbell Creek's our second largest stormwater basin, but these other areas of the city, we have 120 different watersheds. Campbell Creek's just one. Sawyer Creek's another. But throughout the city, we can have stormwater floods that are totally independent of other areas of the town. We've got several projects coming up in the works that will continue the progress that we've made with these ones already. The first one I really want to talk about is Stringham Creek. Now, what's Stringham Creek? Well, Stringham Creek doesn't really exist in a creek form as much anymore. It's right there around Michigan and Iowa Street between 5th and 7th. That's our next phase of Stringham Creek that we need to do. This is where the area that goes through South Park. We need to address that area. A couple years ago, we had some pretty heavy storms. 9th and Ohio was flooded again. And the residents came to the council and said, what are you going to do? If you've benefited from a project and you know about that benefit, we owe it to those residents to continue this progress because they've been paying the same stormwater fees. They paid the same 6.5% increase that you did. We need these benefits throughout the city. The next one that we're working on is another one in Sawyer Creek because that's by far our largest watershed. We call it Sawyer Creek 2. It's pretty much along Clairville Road between 20th Avenue and Highway 91. Gives you a rough idea of where we're talking, but this Sawyer Creek is, because it's our largest watershed, we need to do as much as we can to hold the water back. So these are the example of projects that we continue to need to do. When I arrived here, staff showed me a 35-year plan. So we're about 15 years into our 35-year plan. We're not even halfway through, folks, and we still have a lot of work to do. But we're making good progress. I'm pleased with the progress, but we got to keep it going. And as far as what we've done, one of the things that was appropriately pointed out by the Chamber of Commerce as they took a look at this, they said, well, you have a pretty good fund balance in your stormwater fund. And we do. And we're going to reduce that cash to lessen our borrowing, which will then lessen the need to do future increases of that measure. I predict that we'll probably average about a 2% increase for the rest of the decade each year. But we have to continue to make this progress. So our books are open. I welcome anybody to come and take a look at our books. Ask questions. You have every right to do it, and we have a responsibility to you to make sure we do that as well. We also have staff that's working on expanding the use of media to tell our story and engage with residents with city information. You may be familiar through Oshkosh Media with the City Manager's Report. It's about a half-hour program on Oshkosh Media, GovTV. Half-hour programs aren't for everybody. So podcasts, my kids tell me podcasts are cooler. So they're cooler than me for a half hour. They can't stand 5 minutes of me. So podcasts are a little more bite-sized excerpts from our City Manager's Report show. We're going to be doing that this year to try to appeal to people who may only want a little bit of a snippet of information. So we're going to be working on that. So look forward to that. Meanwhile, our Department of Public Works, and everybody knows how exciting engineers can be. Sorry, guys. But our engineers need to do a better job of telling the story about all the technical issues that they deal with. Stormwater is a very complex issue, and we need to figure out a way to be more plain-spoken about those things. You're going to see us using more use of social media to explain those things, and I look forward to them simplifying and in everyday language talk about those things. We also have a responsibility in local government to bridge polarizing viewpoints, and we've seen a lot of that these days, and we certainly have our share of it at the local level as well. I think one example in the past year where we had some polarizing issues was the Clearwell project over at the water filtration plant. And certainly there were some very passionate people who expressed their opinion to the council on what they would like to see. And as a result, council listened, and the community was heard. And on top of that, we're now forming an ad hoc committee to help us with some of the design issues. How do we make that, the new tanks that we have to put in there, how do we make them more visually appealing, and take a look at the area around it. So that group will be working through the summer to get those issues together, and I'm looking forward to that. There's also another bit of staff commitment on fall prevention for the well-being of the public. Little known fact, 30% of our fire calls are related to falls. 30%. We just passed the 10,000 call mark for the fire department last year. So that means 3,000 calls are just for falls. Now that takes just as much time as them going to other emergencies. So think about that and how important fall prevention is for us to be able to deliver more effective and efficient services. So the fire department's partnering with Rebuilding Together Fox Valley in a fall prevention initiative. We're really excited about this because what they do is they go into homes and identify things that can help prevent falls, and doing little things, structural things like grab bars in a shower, and just other little things to where people can be prone and susceptible to falls. We want to prevent that. What we get out of it is fewer calls, and you get you avoid what could become a tailspin for yourself on a personal level. Once somebody has their first fall, it can be the beginning of a bad situation. We want to prevent that. So this is one thing, and we're so happy to be partnering with Rebuilding Together Fox Valley on that. And the Oshkosh Senior Center, meanwhile, working with the fire department, has put in a little device over there to assess your susceptibility for falls. So if you haven't done it already, I was over there, and I swear I'd really be mad at them if they put me on that. I was on it, but they didn't show the film. But this is how you can assess your potential for falls in your own home. So we can work with you to identify things you can do to avoid falls. So we're very happy to have this device, and we're going to get you also associated with other features at the Senior Center that you can take advantage of. So if you're curious about it, don't be embarrassed. I'm qualified to go over there to get your assessment done to prevent falls. The other thing I want to talk about is the people, our employees who make services happen. They're the face, and they're part of this community to make things better for our community. The State of the City event is just one example, and I encourage you to visit the different booths, even booths that maybe you're not as familiar with. Talk to them and hear about the different services we provide. There was somebody, I was over at the building inspection booth, and building inspections. They're very nice people. Wave, Nicole. Nicole Cron, our chief building official. She's a very nice person. Go visit her. If you got a question about inspections, go talk to Nicole. She and her staff do a wonderful job. Another group that we're working on is an employee green team, and I want to thank the council for this. The council said we wanted to talk more about how we introduce sustainability issues into our everyday life, but also with our city organization. So we are forming a group of employees that will assist us in educating our own employees about this, as well as other things maybe we can do as an organization to better address sustainability issues. So I really appreciate the leadership of the council and the Sustainability Advisory Board for making that suggestion, and so we're going to do that. And of course, I don't have to do much introductions for the other face of the community, and it's Magic the Therapy Dog. So Scott Zapata, our officer, wave your hand, and there's Magic. I know everybody wants to see the puppy. See, we cheer for the dog. That was for you too, Scott. But Scott's work reaching out to the community has resulted in Traeger School initiating, they're going to get their own therapy dog. And what this does, it's the value of promoting good mental health and wellness. That's Magic's job, and we know that we have helped people in our community by using Magic in some very stressful situations. So we're very happy to have that program going on. Other city staff I want to make sure we talk about are water distribution people. When it gets cold and pipes break, they're out there, and I think we want to appreciate them. We don't necessarily appreciate them until we need them, but when we need them, boy, do we need them fast. Our folks are out there in the cold, getting their hands cold to fix pipes, and I think it's one of those, they're kind of unsung heroes for everything we do. Speaking of unsung heroes, it's my pleasure to announce our Employees of the Year, and they're with the Oshkosh Fire Department. Last year, February 19th, 2022, so this is our 2022 Employee of the Year. Throughout the night, in multiple calls for service and without sleep, 3 of our brave firefighters rescued 8 people from the frozen waters of Lake Winnebago. There was a snow squall at the time. We were probably all just quietly in our homes, just enjoying the evening, and it's like, the weather's bad outside, it's okay, I'm home alone. These 3 individuals were out there rescuing people. The weather conditions were extreme, with cold temperatures, high winds, and low visibility due to snow squalls. It was a terrible situation. These conditions caused them to use special techniques to maneuver their rescue boat. And this rescue boat example that you see here is under pretty good circumstances. They were far from perfect on February 19th. They did their best to locate the victims, and they found them. And I think they had to make 3 different trips out to get these 8 individuals. They were not just in one location. They were scattering throughout the lake. Despite these dangerous conditions, the firefighters showed courage and skill to rescue the stranded people, bringing them safely back to shore. I presented, 2 of the 3, I've already presented the award. Chris keeps dodging me, but I'll get you, Chris. I'll get that award to you eventually. The thing they said was, any of our firefighters would have done the same thing. And that's so true. This is who our people are and what they do. So I want to recognize the 3 individuals. They're here. They just, I'm going to ask them to wave, and then they want to just kind of go quietly away, because they don't do it for the glory. They do it because they serve. Scott Krause, Chris Heder, Josh Antes. Well, now I'm mad at you because you got better applause than I did when I came up. But they're awesome. Well, yeah, taller than you too, Bill. That's the quality of employees we have. Thank them, not just these 3. City employees who help you, be sure to thank them. So that is about our employees. But now we want to talk about the partners that we have throughout the community that help lay the foundation for success. And there's so many of you here tonight, and I want to thank, and if I miss one of you, I totally apologize. But we've got some issues in our community that the council's asked me to take a look at, and community partners are rising to the occasion. And one of the questions that came up in our survey was, how are we addressing homelessness? And this is something that council is very cognizant of. We know that homeless population has increased in the 3 years since we last got together. It is becoming a challenging issue. But we do have some great community partners, and we're going to be, one of the goals this year is to engage our community partners that provide services and address things to prevent homelessness, as well as how to get people back on their feet. So that's something that you're going to see us work on. I've already spoken with Winnebago County Executive Damo. He recognizes the issue as well, and we're going to be working together to engage our community partners on that. The council, to their credit, has allocated funds from the American Rescue Plan Act. ARPA is the lingo for that, and we've done some investments in addressing homelessness, and you'll probably see more of that as time goes on as well. I mentioned Winnebago County. We have multiple partnerships with Winnebago County. We've already talked about Officer Zapata and Magic, but Kayla Rodriguez with the County Human Services Department works with Scott and the Oshkosh Police Department to address mental health issues that are out in our community, and as well as also helping our officers as well. That program has been nothing short of a smashing success. We just completed our first year of the program, and Kayla is working very closely with Scott to address issues that are more appropriately taken care of by someone with a background in managing mental health. Officer Zapata's gone through training, but Kayla is a specialist specifically geared towards that. And I think it's going to help our community a great deal, and I want to thank the county for that. Similarly, the city's transportation department has been working with Winnebago County on a pilot program with the county for Go Transit Route 10. That's the one that goes between Oshkosh and the Oshkosh Transit Center and the Neenah Transit Center. Honestly, we don't get a lot of rides out of Route 10, so we're looking at a pilot program to have an on-demand service, and we're going to be starting that on April 3rd. So please look for that, and we're going to need feedback because we got to figure out what we're going to do. We don't get a ton of rides, but those rides to those people are very important. 54% of the people who ride Route 10 are going to work. So think about that, and if they don't have a car and we don't have transportation for them, they can't get to work. For employers in the area, in the city, who need workers, transportation is a big component of that. So that's something that we're very pleased to be working with the county on. Another great partnership with our friends from the Community Foundation, and I know Bill Wyman's here from the Community Foundation. I saw Harleen Grabner. They've been wonderful in raising $300,000 to address the emerald ash borer devastation that's occurred in our community. And you've seen these spindly trees that don't have leaves on them anymore. They're the victims of emerald ash borer. And so we're allocating funds to remove the trees and then replace them. So Travis Dirks, our city forester, is here tonight. Just go on over to the Parks Department booth, and if you've had one of your trees removed, let Travis know that you want a new tree. We've got several to choose from, and thanks to the Community Foundation's partnership, you're going to be able to get a new tree in your terrace. So thank you, Community Foundation. We've got other partners, and the Community Foundation's not done yet, but we've got other groups here that I want to recognize. Plans are underway for a visioning study for downtown Oshkosh visualization plan. We did a similar plan in 2001, and quite frankly, we've done a good job of implementing virtually all of the recommendations from that. So now we got to re-up that. And our partners, again, starting with the Community Foundation, we also have the Greater Oshkosh Economic Development Corporation, and I know Tricia Rathermill's over there, and her folks, and the Oshkosh Chamber of Commerce, our new Chamber President, Rob Clayman's here. Thank you, Rob, for being here. As well as the Oshkosh Convention and Visitors Bureau. I know Amy's not here tonight, but some of her wonderful staff are there. Give a wave over there. Come on, Jody, Jesse, come on. I want to thank all of them for partnering with us on this plan. And let's give all of our community partners an applause for all the work they do. Community pride and the role of local government. I want to thank Tom, for our poet laureate, for doing such a wonderful job. You heard a lot of things in his poem that talk about things that we're proud of in our community. While I'm certainly proud of sewer and storm sewer and water, you didn't hear that in his poem. Those are the basics. But we become a community of choice for all the other stuff that Tom mentioned in his poem. And it includes good parks, great libraries, great public museum, good school system. And I know Dr. Davis is here, and several of you came over from Salute to Education. Thank you for filling out the seats here. But all of those things are what make Oshkosh a community of choice. And so I want to just talk briefly about some of the capital improvements, because when we invest in capital improvements, we're investing in the future, we're investing in making us a community of choice. We were fortunate enough to get some bipartisan infrastructure law funds from the federal government for 2 projects in particular that we're pleased to talk about tonight. Washburn Street from Dickinson Avenue to 20th. Not every street's eligible for these funds. Our staff worked to get these designed and eligible for funding, and we got 2 of them funded, so we're real excited about that. So you're going to see this part of Washburn get done this year, as well as Osborne Avenue, from Knapp Street to about 1,700 feet west of Mason Street, pretty much up to where the U.S. Bank complex is. So you get an idea. That road will be under construction, so don't use that as a shortcut to get over to Keller. It won't be as easy this summer. But we know we need to get these projects done. But I just told you why we did these, but I often get asked, and we got it in the survey, well, how are roads selected for repair? And it's a more complex answer than just saying, well, the condition of the road, because the road is just a portion of what we do. And so Public Works, again, trying to simplify some very complex things. This is a cross-section. I don't expect you to memorize it tonight, but just gives you an idea of everything that goes on underneath the road that we also have to take a look at. And we still have sewers that date back to the 1880s. I said 18. So those are issues that we need to address as well. And so when other things are equal, we look at the condition of the utilities underneath. Couple of examples that we have that we're going to do this year. Wisconsin Street from New York Avenue to Bent Avenue. I know Alex Hummel is here. He's been bugging me for years because he lives in that neighborhood. We're getting it done, Alex. So now you'll bug me about something else, but it won't be about that street. But we're very happy to get that project done because the condition of the road was terrible, but so are the old utilities that are underneath them as well. Additionally, Lincoln Avenue from Elmwood over to Jackson Street is also getting done this year. Again, the condition of the utilities, I don't think they're still wood pipes, but we've got some very, very old pipes underneath some of these roads. These date back to early days of Oshkosh. So with our progress on capital projects, one of the issues that council has been wrestling with for a number of years is the status of finding alternatives to special assessments. Council's given me that task, and staff's going through different alternatives that we're going to be presenting to council soon to have them mull over what different options might exist for the alternatives. While our costs have gone up, your costs have gone up, and it's becoming very expensive for people who are just buying a house and then they get hit with a special assessment. It could be, $10,000, $20,000. And I think council recognizes that. They've given me the orders, and so that's what we're going to do. Meanwhile, we have a couple other projects. I don't want to dwell on that special assessments too much, but it's important. A couple other projects we got going on. I mentioned earlier Sawyer Creek Detention Basin, Rural 2, our second major pond project in Sawyer Creek, as well as the 3rd Avenue storage facility for the police department. Police department they're using some facilities on 3rd Avenue as well as on Sawyer Street, where we're going to have the future fire training facility. So we need to relocate everybody out of that building. The police department's going to go over to 3rd Avenue, and that's a project we're going to be working on this year. In addition to capital projects, other things that make us a community of choice are development projects as well. And I want to just talk about a few of them. Certainly, Central City redevelopment is a big part of that. workforce housing for the former Boatworks property. This is land that our redevelopment agency has acquired over the years, as well as our old sanitation garage. It's going to be converted into some great housing that will be right near the river, and it will really enhance the neighborhood just south of the river. In addition to that, we also have Theta Care and Freighter that announced the plans to build a micro-hospital on the South Shore. This is a relatively new concept to Wisconsin, but we're excited that Theta Care chose our site in Oshkosh, the former Geldwin site. So we're really happy that we're going to be able to see that break ground later on this year. As you move further along, we talked about the downtown visioning study. That's really for the north side of the river. It's pretty much the same area that we had talked about 20 years ago, but what's next? And I think it's exciting about the prospects of what we have for the downtown area. Many opportunities, and I'm looking forward to that. And again, I want to thank our partners for being part of that. And then we get to the south, flip back to the south side, the Sawdust District Master Plan. T-Wall, a developer out of the Madison area, is scheduled to start construction in spring of 2023. We're working with them on a development agreement right now. It's very exciting about the work they're doing there. And that's also going to include the extension of East 9th Avenue from Main Street all the way over to Pioneer Drive. Pioneer Drive, the east-west portion is gone now because we've replaced it with a trail, but this will make it very easy to access this property. All you got to do is tell somebody coming from Interstate 41, get off at 9th and head east until you can't anymore. Just don't drive as far as the lake. But you'll get there. It's going to be much easier for people to get directions, how to get there, and it's long overdue to get 9th Avenue done, so we're excited about that. And then literally just across the street from where the T-Wall development's going is the former Miles Kimball building, and the apartments are due to be completed this year. This is a project that's been in the works for a while, but we're excited that now we've got a developer who's actively working on it, and I think it'll be a wonderful addition to the south side of the downtown. And of course, I mentioned earlier the Riverwalk. Want to keep talking about that. We just completed the east-west segment of the former Pioneer Drive, the east-west portion of that. Starts at Main Street. It got completed a little late in the year, so I encourage you this spring to go pay a visit and take a look at it. Get a great shot across the river over to the Leach Amphitheater in Riverside Park. We're very excited about the prospects for this. And then eventually, you'll see, as the Pioneer develops, and I'm not going to make any promises on that. We've been working on that one. That's a very unique property. It's got to be the right thing. We just don't want to throw anything at that. But the Pioneer Drive Riverwalk on Pioneer Island will be the next phase of that, and that'll happen when development occurs. So cross our fingers that we get it soon, but please be patient with that one. Oshkosh Avenue Corridor is another exciting one that people have seen and talk about a lot. And just a few examples of things that have already gone there. The Popeyes restaurant, and we also have an area that has Teriyaki Madness, the Taqueria, and Starbucks. So we're excited that that development has taken place. And then just recently it was announced that a True by Hilton hotel it's been approved, and they plan to do that. That's it's right between where the Popeyes is and the other development is, and then right in front of the Town Place Suite. So we're excited about that, and Oshkosh Avenue is really shaping up, and I'm really excited about what that's been doing. Meanwhile, residential development continues to be a challenge because we have workforce that needs housing. I know of people, employers who have told me that people have turned down jobs because they can't find a place to live that meets their needs. So finding that, including our neighborhoods in that, so that neighborhoods are part of that neighborhood of choice. And I appreciate all the work that GO-H&I, Greater Oshkosh Healthy Neighborhoods, as well as all of the neighborhood associations that have been working on that. But we need workforce housing, and there's also affordable housing we need to address. We've just adopted a housing needs study, or the council did, and now we're implementing the housing needs study. And these are some examples of what we need to do. One of the things the council just recently did was they updated the zoning code to allow for different types of housing in the city. Things like, they're called accessory dwelling units. Common term you've heard out there is mother-in-law houses and things like that, but they're technically accessory dwelling units, and finding ways to add housing in our central area that might be more affordable for people. So that's a major challenge with the price of housing going up, interest rates going up. Our challenge is how do we make it more affordable? So our job is to find ways to simplify the regulatory process for that. As far as future planning and council goals, I've kind of mentioned these, but council has given me 4 specific goals to work on for 2023. Infusing sustainability and diversity, equity, and inclusion concepts into our city policies and operations. Part of the green team that I mentioned was to help achieve that. Addressing homelessness. We've talked about that. We need everybody to be part of that solution because it is a problem that we're facing it throughout our community. Our special assessments policy, I mentioned that, so we're going to be working on that as well. And then lastly, one that I really appreciate council giving me a great deal of latitude in, improvement of the state-local fiscal relationship. What that means is the monies that the state trickles down to local units of government. Folks, the system's broken and it needs to get fixed. And I can tell you that council gave me the latitude to work on a state committee over the past year. I was representing cities and villages throughout the state, and we've met with representatives of the legislature and the governor's office, and I'm very hopeful that they've both heard our message. They know this needs to get fixed. This is not an Oshkosh problem, but it is absolutely a concern of Oshkosh. And I've already done my spiel with our new state rep / outgoing mayor, Palmeri. She's very aware of it, and she was part of the group that gave me this goal. So the mayor understands it as both a representative and as mayor. So I'm hoping that other like-minded people in the legislature of both parties will make a commitment to fix the state-local relationship because we sure can use it. We got to quit relying on property taxes, folks. I've heard so many times our property taxes are too high. That is a Wisconsin thing that we need to fix, and part of us is working on that. So look forward to that. That's sort of a passion of mine, and I'm going to keep plugging away at it. In closing, I want to thank all of you for everything you do to make our community great, whether you're leaders on the city council, our wonderful, dedicated city staff, and our great community, so supportive. Those three together, that triangle, really, we can do anything when we have all of us working together towards common goals. I want to thank you for coming this evening. I'm excited about the prospects for Oshkosh in 2023 and in the years ahead, and I want to thank you for helping me succeed as city manager, and I look forward to continuing working with you. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, for that presentation. I really enjoyed, especially those aerial visuals. And now for our awards. The Community Partnership Award is presented by the City of Oshkosh to an organization or individual who makes an outstanding contribution to advance the quality of life in Oshkosh. Tonight, we have 3 awards to present, and I'm pleased to present the first one. Great neighborhoods begin with the residents that live there. Oshkosh is proud to have partners that believe in strong neighborhoods that in turn benefit the entire Oshkosh community. It takes neighbors and the greater community working together to improve the city. Habitat for Humanity of Oshkosh is one of those partners that is making a difference here in our city. They bring people together to revitalize neighborhoods. And also, I happened to learn how to cut fascia and stain a fence properly last year, volunteering with them. Well, whether it's connecting homeowners with incentive programs, building homes for partner families, Rock the Block Oshkosh, or other programs, Habitat for Humanity of Oshkosh works to get neighbors and the greater community working together to improve their city. Rock the Block Oshkosh as one of the successful programs that's positively impacting Oshkosh neighborhoods. Rock the Block is a volunteer-driven, community-based event with the aim of improving a neighborhood's appearance. It also assists residents with upkeep and needed home repairs. Thanks to the local grant funding, many projects are free to homeowners. Other projects may qualify for city grant and loan funding. This unique program is designed to assist homeowners within recognized neighborhood associations with exterior home maintenance, lawn care, and exterior repairs. Congratulations to Habitat for Humanity of Oshkosh on being a recipient of a City of Oshkosh Community Partnership Award. Tom Simon, if you'd step forward.
Thank you. And while Habitat got the award, we're just the delivery man. I mean, what Rock the Block is, and it's reflective of this community, is just neighbor helping neighbor. I look out, and there's some of you, and Lori was one of them. Mark, I want to get you out there, and all of you city council people. You can talk about what we're going to do, or you can do something. Every year in the spring, 80 to 100 and some volunteers go into a neighborhood, work with the neighborhood association. And they repair and maintain about 30-some homes. But it's not Habitat. It's everything from the volunteer teams and the blue shirts that you'll see. It's Oshkosh helping healthy neighborhoods, helping us work with the neighborhood associations. I love getting like the planning department out there. You want to talk about the porches? How about ripping one apart and seeing what it's like to put it back together? But what this program has shown is that the little parts working together, that we could work on 4 neighborhoods in the last 4 years and fix 100 and some homes. In Menominee South, we're going to be coming in May of this year, 30 more homes repaired. And I give you this word, it's not us, it's you. And as long as the volunteers keep coming, and the people keep supporting this, Oshkosh will be rejuvenated again and again. Thank you for supporting Rock the Block. Thank you for making Oshkosh home. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. To present the second Community Partnership Award, I'm pleased to introduce Council Members Mike Ford and Deputy Mayor Matt Mugrauer.
Well, we're not going to top Tom, but we'll try. So, excellent police departments aren't excellent without a skilled staff and the necessary equipment. Training requires the right equipment, too. The Oshkosh Police Department continually looks for ways to be proactive with their training, to provide citizens with the best service possible. In recent years, virtual reality technology has advanced and has become customized for a variety of purposes. Apex Officer is an immersive virtual reality training simulator that the Oshkosh Police Department recently acquired through a primary donation by the JEK Foundation.
The new virtual reality simulator places the officers in interactive real-life scenarios. The system allows officers to work on a variety of skills, including de-escalation techniques, communication, active listening, decision-making, judgment, and problem-solving. Officers will receive immediate feedback during the scenario and after debrief. This type of training provides additional opportunities for officers to learn in a controlled environment. The Oshkosh Police Department values this training tool and is appreciative of the JEK Foundation's support. Congratulations to the JEK Foundation on being a recipient of the City of Oshkosh Community Partnership Award. Joining us this evening is Mr. Stadman.
I imagine we'd all like to be home by 11 o'clock tonight, so my remarks will be briefer than any Academy Award acceptance speech. Thank you very much for that generous introduction. The JEK Foundation is proud and grateful to be the recipient of the Community Service Partnership Award. Often the result of budget constraints, JEK has supported the police department with grants for a variety of needs over the past several years. Chief Smith and the entire department are worthy recipients for these grants. I think we all know that training has become especially critical for police departments across the country, and as a result, this was an obvious choice for a grant by JEK. We can all be grateful for the professionalism and protection that our department provides to our citizens every day. Thank you, Chief Smith. Keep up the good work. And God bless and keep safe all the brave members of our great police department. Thank you.
And finally, to present the third Community Partnership Award, I'm pleased to introduce Council Member Aaron Wojciechowski. Courtney Hansen couldn't join us after all this evening.
Thank you. The city values its partners in education. Specifically, the Oshkosh Public Museum has had a long-standing relationship with the Oshkosh Area School District. The most fruitful phase of this collaboration happened over the last year. The museum has goals of alignment its exhibits and school-age programming with the school district's curriculum standards and to bring students back into the museum for field trips. The variety of time periods on display at the museum helps students learn in ways that a textbook never could. Teach, bringing curriculum to life by inviting students to interact with history. The museum is hosting over 1,000 third graders this year alone, plus another few hundred middle and high school students on virtual field trips. The collaboration is now expanding into internships for high school students and other programs that actively use the museum's resources as primary source materials. Together, the Oshkosh Area School District and Oshkosh Public Museum are bringing history to life for students while helping the museum meet its mission in a critical way. Congratulations to the Oshkosh Area School District on being a recipient of a City of Oshkosh Community Partnership Award.
Thank you so much. So honored to be recognized tonight with our board president, Dr. Herzog. Really, one of our themes is to build community through education. And this is a prime example of that. We're also thrilled to be beyond the pandemic where we can come face to face and have real interaction bringing our kids into the community. I want to thank Sarah and her staff who've done a phenomenal job in their transition into the next era of the museum. Barb and I are also proud members of the museum board, so we get to see them in action. So really excited for the future of the museum and feel blessed to be partners. We know that the museum, when our students are there, and as you heard, we have over 1,000 third graders visiting just this year, is where history helps inform the future, and it happens through our students. So just want to say thank you to, again, Sarah and her staff, and to the strong partnership with the city. Thanks so much for coming out.
Now it's time to recognize citizens who have achieved significant milestones this year for their service on boards and commissions. While we're spotlighting 19 people tonight, we'd like to thank all citizens who serve on the city's boards and commissions. Whether you've dedicated your time for 1 year, 2 years, or 20 years, what you do is truly appreciated and helps our council to make better decisions. Without them, we could not do our job. So again, thank you. Here are our Citizen Service Award recipients this year. Those receiving your awards may pick them up, the plaques, from the table near the stage after the program. Reaching their 5-year milestones are, from the Landmarks Commission, former Mayor Steve Cummings. From the Library Board, William Bracken. From the Oshkosh Housing Authority, Nicholas Hahn and Julie Spanbauer. And from the Redevelopment Authority, Jack Birmingham. From the Rental Housing Advisory Board, Timothy Ernst and Linda Javaltis. From the Sustainability Advisory Board, Patricia Dwyer Hallquist and Vic Oliver. From the Traffic and Parking Advisory Board, Daniel Szynski and Ross Ronschneider. And from the Transit Advisory Board, Carl Bulow. Okay, reaching their 10-year milestone. From the Committee on Aging, Judy Ritchie. And Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, Adam Belcarelli. Reaching their 15-year milestone from the Landmarks Commission, Shirley Bravender-Maddox. From the Sustainability Advisory Board, Margie Davey. And finally, reaching their 20th year milestone. This is all volunteer, folks. It's not the big bucks. From the Board of Review, Paul Schmidt. From the Plan Commission, former Mayor Kathleen Propp. And from the Public Museum Board, Carol Fenrick. You know, we're always looking for more members of the community to get involved on our boards and commissions. Currently, right now, I can tell you, stormwater utility, bicycle and pedestrian, and transit are in great need. If anyone is interested in joining a board or commission, you can visit the city's website and apply. Go to the government tab, drop down to boards and commissions. There's an online application. It's one page, literally 5 minutes out of your life, and it is really enjoyable. All right, we're going to move on now to the Environmental Leadership Award. Now, I'm excited to present the first of 2 Environmental Leadership Awards this evening. A sustainability research team at UW-Oshkosh received $1.6 million in National Science Foundation grants to study the social and environmental conditions that contribute to toxic blue-green algal blooms in Lake Winnebago. The blooms, primarily caused by excess nutrients from agricultural and urban runoff, that's us folks, threaten public health, the local economy, and quality of life. They cause millions of dollars of economic losses and impact the ecology in our region. The project has broad implication as the blooms result in billions of dollars in economic losses worldwide. This study plans to engage the public and stakeholders to address the algal bloom issue locally and provide information and tools to improve outreach, education, and policy efforts. Over 40 UW-Oshkosh students over the next 4 years are expected to work alongside the researchers, gaining valuable field study experience. This grant is in the National Science Foundation's Dynamics of Integrated Socio-Environmental Systems DSIS program, which offers funding to research that tends to favor interdisciplinary sustainability research like this project, recognizing the importance of the various disciplines represented by the faculty on this project. The research team will also work closely with the Fox Wolf Watershed Alliance, a vital partner to carry out this project. The UW-Oshkosh Harmful Algal Blooms research team members are listed on the screen, and we applaud and present them with this award.
Okay, we weren't planning on saying anything, clearly, but it is a really cool opportunity where we get to work with community. We're going to do community engaged science. It's interdisciplinary, which sounds like that should just be a given, but it's actually pretty rare in academia. We're pretty siloed in our specialties, and it's just a really cool opportunity to kind of bridge these students and their educational opportunity faculty to work together across our disciplines, as well as work in our own community that we live in, and then hear from community members about how can we make policy that actually affects change. So it's a pretty cool opportunity. Thank you.
And I have to say, I was pretty impressed in the rotunda down in the Capitol with some of these research projects that were presented last week. I'd now like to introduce Vicki Redlin of the Oshkosh Rotary Southwest to present the second Environmental Leadership Award for this year.
Our next recipient during his 18-year tenure as the Landscape Operations Manager and City Forester for the City of Oshkosh, Bill Sturm initiated numerous urban tree planting and tree care projects throughout the city through various grants and received several statewide accolades for his service. Bill was actively involved with the Rotary Southwest Environmental Beautification Committee, was past president of the Winnebago Lakes Council, served as an educational instructor for the Wisconsin DNR, and was a certified arborist through the International Society of Arboriculture and the Wisconsin Arborist Association. His career highlights include the development of the Tree Campus USA program with UW-Oshkosh and the creation of the Taking Root program with the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation, which was recognized at both the state and international level as an effective model for community reforestation. Keenly aware of the need to alternative varieties of terrace trees, Bill advocated for the diversification to enhance our city streets while protecting Oshkosh's tree canopy from loss to invasive bugs, i.e. emerald ash borer. Bill began his environmental conservation career providing woodland management for several Wisconsin counties with tree planting projects through the Cropland Reserve Program. He spent 13 years at Lawrence University and maintaining the 100-acre property and had several articles published related to his work with the Heirloom Gardening Project for the Outagamie County Historical Society. He then moved to the Green Bay Area Public Schools as landscape manager for 32 properties, where he initiated a tree care program and renovated most of the school properties during his 5 years there. Congratulations to Bill on receiving an Environmental Leadership Award this year. Bill could not be here this evening, so here to accept the award for him is our good friend, Shirley Brabender-Maddox.
What a perfect choice for this award. Bill is a very quiet person, yet when he hears that there's an opportunity, he makes it a possibility. And I know when he comes back from his warmer winter place where he is right now, he'll be able to watch this presentation. And I'm sure he'll feel very humble, but most of us didn't know all that he did for the community and the environment. And it's been a privilege to work with him all these years, and we've been lucky to have him. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate these examples for all of us who want to improve our city and the lives of its residents. Now I'd like to honor Oshkosh neighborhoods. Here to recognize our newest neighborhood association and to present the Neighborhood Association Volunteerism Recognition is Cora Strand.
Hello, my name is Cora Strand, and I am the Neighborhood Coordinator at Oshkosh Healthy Neighborhoods. If you're not familiar with our organization, we are a 501c3 nonprofit who partners with the city of Oshkosh, and we are focused on bettering our neighborhoods through community development and neighborhoods knowing neighbors. So today, I'm here to recognize 3 of our newest neighborhood associations within Oshkosh that were officially recognized by the city in 2023. Our first neighborhood that we would like to recognize is our historic 6th Ward Neighborhood Association. So, the historic 6th Ward Neighborhood Association is located on the south side, and if you are an individual who is representing this neighborhood today, we would love for you to stand up so we can give you a nice round of applause. Thank you. Our next neighborhood association, which was officially recognized in 2022, is our Downtown Neighborhood Association. Our downtown neighborhood association location is pretty self-explanatory, and if you are an individual who is here tonight representing, feel free to stand up, but if not, feel free to give them again a round of applause. Lastly, we have our Green Acres Neighborhood Association, which is now recently located on the west side. So again, if you are a representative here, please feel free to stand so we can recognize you, but if not, just a final round of applause. So as of 2022, we now have 23 neighborhood associations recognized in Oshkosh, and as how we like to say, there's always room for 23 more. So if you are interested in getting involved, come talk to Tom and I in the back, and we'll give you all the wonderful information. Thank you. And lastly, we would like to recognize one of our neighborhoods for our volunteerism award. This award goes out to the neighborhood association that inputs the most amount of volunteer hours annually. And this year, our winner is Menominee South. Congratulations, Menominee South. You have inputted over 300 volunteer hours for this year, which equates to about $9,000 in volunteer time and money. So thank you so much for all the wonderful work that you do in our community. We are extremely grateful for everything that you do, and you are amazing volunteers. So thank you.
Thank you for all you do to help our neighborhoods thrive and be a source of pride for our residents. So that concludes our 2023 State of the City Address and Awards presentation. A reminder for everyone here tonight, I encourage you to stick around, talk to members of our city departments, as well as several other groups that play an important role in this community. Thank you again to everyone who helped make tonight possible, and of course, the Oshkosh Convention Center for hosting us tonight. It was wonderful to be back in person again this year. Thanks to each of you for joining us this evening. Here's to a bright 2023 and beyond for our world-class city. Thank you and good evening.